Welcome to another edition of Entrepreneurs in Fuego. We're documenting the journey of incredible entrepreneurs directly from Flagstaff. I always wanted to say that. My main man, Banda. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Doing? Good, man. You came all the way from Flagstaff.
Yes.
And you are, and what I'm going to call you is like an entrepreneur at large. And by that is you have like all sorts of different businesses, different ideas, different enterprises. Tell us a little bit more, or talk about whatever you want to talk about. How about that?
Yeah, I guess the first business I'll talk about is the one I'm currently working with a little bit more part-time with my wife is Absolutely Flawless Salon, where you are absolutely flawless. And so that's kind of what we're doing right now. We're trying to build this brand and hopefully eventually grow it and even bring down a salon down here and open a salon down here. That's what I meant to say.
Down here in Phoenix, you have one
actually,
in Flagstaff.
In Peoria, Glendale is kind of the area. I'm from Phoenix, so my family lives in Glendale and Peoria, and I would like to be able to open something up there so that way we can come down and be in the same area when we're doing business and hanging out with the family.
How's Flagstaff for? Let me ask you this: how's Flagstaff for businesses? Is it receptive? Is it open? Is it entrepreneurial? Or
I guess I would say yes and no. It depends, because I think it depends on the person. Because the reason why I say that is you're dealing with a smaller population. So if, like, for instance, Peoria, Glendale, you're at 500,000 people. Flagstaff, you're around 70,000 people with students. So I've heard people say, if you can make it in Flagstaff, you can make it anywhere. So hopefully
the New York of Arizona, right? Okay.
Exactly. So I have a lot of friends that are successful, businessmen, entrepreneurs there. So I would say yes and no. It just depends on your personality and how you approach that situation.
Which is interesting, because this show is about your journey as an entrepreneur. And what I hear you say is that it really doesn't matter where you are, so long as you have a passion for it, some determination and the courage to start the business and to stick with it. You can make it if you have a market of maybe 10,000 people. Somehow you're going to find a way to market to those folks.
I agree. I agree 100%.
The biggest challenge for you as an entrepreneur, because you have a lot of ideas, right? Would it be fair to say that when you as an entrepreneur have all these enterprises going on, do you think that your time would be served better if you were to concentrate on one or two, or is because you've got that fire, man? I mean, and you want to do as many business because you're just thinking all the time. You got a T-shirt business, you got all these things going on.
I would say, for me, no. The reason why I say that is I'm ADD. So Does your wife go, wait a minute, honey? Yes, she does.
Absolutely. I can see her. I can see her right now.
She's like, hey, slow down. Let's get this one going, and then maybe on to the next one.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. So no, she keeps me grounded, because yes, if I could, I would be opening a business every week. And for me, it's because I want to learn something. Every business is different, and through every business that I've had, and even the ones I've had in the past, I've been able to apply those skills and techniques and the lessons that I've learned to these new businesses.
Okay.
And I feel that it's helped me become a better businessman, because now I don't need to be upfront. I can share my knowledge with the people that work with me. I don't have employees. I would say I have partners, or for instance, in our salon, we have booth rent. So they're not employees, they're self-motivated. And I want to be able to teach them those things that I've learned so they can go and become successful, and I don't need to be there every day. So that's my goal.
All right, so in your model, you're becoming more of a mentor for these people, much like in the salon.
So. Yeah,
in the salon, you're bringing in all these people that are self-employed basically for themselves. They're 1099, but you're providing an environment that will be conducive for their success.
Yes, absolutely, and that's my goal. We have a company in Flagstaff that does marketing and customers, and we're reaching out with them to try to help educate our stylists that are coming in, because right now we are looking for some new stylists, but we want to offer something to them so that way they're interested in coming over and being a part of our team.
What is the tagline for the salon?
Absolutely flawless, where you are absolutely flawless.
Now remember when he says where you are, and he points to the camera, so you're getting it right, man. You're my man.
Thank you.
All right. So the lessons, and we're talking about your past businesses, right? Tell me some of the lessons that you learned
Sure.
Because not every business is a success,
No.
as you know. I mean, you
Absolutely.
can fumble and stumble, and then you get up and everything else. What are the lessons, Marty, that you've learned as an entrepreneur?
For me, I would say maybe partners. Choosing the right partner is very, very important, because sometimes we tend to choose partners that are exactly like us. And that's not what you need. You need someone that's exactly the opposite of you. And I think that's why my wife and I, my brother and I, we have successful businesses
I was just going to say, because your wife is kind of the antithesis of what you are, the yang to the yin.
Exactly.
And she's like, wait a minute. Honey, let's do this. And so the same thing for a partner. A partner should be a little bit opposite as to what you would be.
I would think so. And that's just because of the business that I have that did fail. I'm going to say they failed, but the ones that I decided not to continue with was because of that fact. I felt that we're just in a different place. Our mindsets were different. In the beginning, seems the same, but through time and going through the storms, you test each other out and you find out what you're really made of and what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. And for me, that was the best thing that could have happened to me, because moving forward, if I am going to take on a new business partner, which I'm not looking for, but if I am, there's a criteria that eventually will have to pass. And can I give you that criteria right now? Probably not, because I'm still trying to figure that out.
Sure.
But two, the failures were, at the time, maybe I was not as knowledgeable as I should have been. I'm young, I'm 35 years old, so when I did do these previous business, we were in my 20s.
So you have
early
the
30s.
enthusiasm, get ahead of the knowledge and the experience of somebody that perhaps you would have sought some mentoring from, would have said, I love your enthusiasm, but look, I have a crystal ball. I've been there already. This is what you're going to find.
Exactly.
Okay.
And for me, if I do find a business partner, that is exactly what I would be like. Someone that could mentor me, teach me something that I don't know, and hopefully I have something to offer
Somebody
them
more
as well.
sagey.
Exactly.
All right. So that it kind of shows you the road a little bit.
Yes, sir.
All right. And so you have the expertise, you have the knowledge, and somebody else has either the capital or the wherewithal to say, let's be partners. Here is what I can do.
Exactly.
Okay, that sounds good. Now that's one of the experiences that you got. Is there something else that you learned?
I would have to say, because those businesses didn't necessarily fail. The products we're selling, we were doing well. I think it was just we were at different stages. So in order to grow, you got to grow together. And if you're not growing together and you don't have the same vision, you're going to be stagnant. And I'm about growth, and I want to build to sell. And if we're not building to sell, then what's the point?
It is interesting because we're talking about one of the most interesting aspects about a business. When you start a business, when you bring in a partner, it's like a marriage.
Absolutely.
Right? It's like a marriage. Your marriage is successful because maybe you dated for a little bit, and then you talk about what the future is going to look like. Yes. And in business, perhaps it should be the same way, right?
Absolutely.
Let's date a little bit before we get married. Let's try it out. Let's figure out what would happen if we break up. And this is how we're going to break up. Look at the worst case scenario, and then get into the full marriage thing.
Yes, sir. Then commit when you know that you're on the same page and you have the same end vision.
All right. So I'm getting the lesson that the enthusiasm sometimes gets a little bit too ahead of the knowledge.
Well, and sometimes you think about the idea. Like I had an idea for one of the businesses, and we thought we would be selling. We would be in every state. I mean, with one of our businesses, we sold, we have shirts in Latin America, France, Canada, and throughout the United States. But I would say, it just all depends, because you want that growth, but at the same time, if you're not on the same page, or if things happen, for instance, is that partner able to fulfill the things that you do for that business? Because if you don't, you're screwed, because if you're the one that does all of this and this person can't, what do you do?
Got it. What's the tagline again for your business?
Absolutely Flawless Salon, where you are absolutely flawless.
And with that, we're out.